We are back again, and I am so sorry for that. I was hoping to make a breaking point at the end of Christopher Columbus, but when someone is ringing your doorbell, you end then. Christopher Columbus makes ultimately 4 trips to the New World. Come on, where are we? 1492 is the first one, then he goes home. 1493, goes around, goes home. 1498, round and back home. And finally, 1502. He never realized that he had not discovered Asia. He was sure to the day he died that he had discovered Asia by sailing 4,000 miles west. He did, though, have the ability to bring home artifacts, trinkets, enough gold dust and things to excite greed. 3 artists' renditions of Columbus returning to Queen Isabella and Ferdinand to show them his prize, what he had acquired in the New World. And, of course, bringing home some kidnapped natives is always good show and tell as well. He would die in 1506, only 4 years after his last voyage to the New World. He did, though, unfortunately, leave quite a legacy behind, as well as every other explorer would leave behind. Of all the places that Christopher Columbus touched down, he left some bit of European there. Unfortunately, not a good bit of European. Studies have been done based on the notes of Columbus's travels, where he went, what he saw, describing the peoples, the numbers of peoples, etc. And a couple of 100 years later, they have gone the routes that Columbus had gone on. And he'd say in such and such a city, there were hundreds of thousands of people, or there were approximately 30,000 people that lived here. And when they have gone to those areas, those vast numbers of Native Americans do not exist. When you are introduced to a new disease, pathogen, virus, whatever, you have no antibodies to resist it, to fight it. And so hopefully your body is strong enough that you can, while getting sick, still end up alive at the end. You now have antibodies so that the next time you're introduced to that disease, you can hopefully fight it off. Well, the Native Americans had no antibodies to the European diseases. The common cold could kill them. And thousands, hundreds of thousands of Native Americans will die in North, Central, and South America from the European diseases that we would spread among them. Now, it works both ways. When the Europeans came to the New World, they had no resistance to the Native American diseases. And we will die like flies from dysentery, smallpox. What are some of the other ones? Don't remember it at the moment. But yes, we will die of American diseases the same as they die from our diseases. So he does leave an enduring effect of Europe on the New World. The discouraging truth gradually, though, begins to dawn that Christopher Columbus had merely run into an enormous barrier to the East Indies. For decades thereafter, men strove to get through it or around it. So Columbus never figured it out, but the rest of the explorers are beginning to figure out, we are not in Asia. And so is this massive barrier seen as something great? No, it is seen as an obstacle, and everyone is going to try and figure out, how do we get around this obstacle so we can get to what we really want, trade with Asia. It'll be about 100 years before it's finally decided, hey, this North and South American continent might have value in itself and be worth exploring and settling. But for the first 100 years or so, how do we get past this obstacle? And in your 12th edition textbook, in chapter 1, I had told you the only part of Christopher Columbus that I wanted you to read was page 18 through 22. 18 through 22. And now I will take the break I had intended on taking, and we will come back and cover Henry VIII.